Bad news this morning for hundreds of thousands of people in West Virginia whose drinking water was contaminated by a chemical spill. We're now learning that the spill was worse than initially believed. So how long until people can actually drink the water coming out of their own taps?
Crowds filled stores in West Virginia Thursday night, stocking up on everything from water to ice. Demand for the items so high, shelves were wiped clean.
Everybody's wanting water. There is no water, and that brings concern.
I got a buggy full of ice up here, so it'll turn into water. But I mean, you can't live without water.
The crisis began when a toxic chemical used to process coal leaked out of a 48,000-gallon storage tank. The chemical overflowed into the Elk River just north of a water treatment plant that provides drinking water for the region. And as people try to cope, FEMA is on hand delivering more than 1 million liters of clean water. The National Guard is on the scene too. Water bottles like liquid gold. Many are starting to have serious questions about the health risk they may face from exposure to a chemical officials know so little about.
Now, tonight, officials continue to test the water as they try to determine the extent of the health risk and also how long the water ban will be in place. Brian?
Ann Thompson, Charleston, West Virginia tonight. Ann, thanks.
What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it.
It was a matter of necessity, though. It had been days, and it's not like I could jump in the car and just drive away out of town to go find some water to use.
Part of what we're doing here, though, is just kind of figuring out the process. What does it take to do your own citizen science or sensor journalism for something like a body of water?
What happens here, where we get a lot of rainfall, we take water for granted. We're rarely under water stress in terms of water quantity stress. We just have so much water, and that water has a dilution value to it, so it dilutes our pollution. But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone or when it's not available to us.
The first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar of soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do.
So this is the test run, trying out this little water sensor, put it inside a Gatorade bottle, and it's detecting through 2 screws in the cap of the Gatorade bottle the conductivity of the water. So conductivity of water will change depending on dissolved solids and salts in the water. So things that could be bad could be detected. Not things that aren't bad can also be detected, so that has to be investigated. So this Gatorade bottle with this little board in it that slides right in the mouth of the bottle they put it in a cinder block. The challenge was to keep it secure in the water, so they actually mounted it inside a cinder block, and they just tossed it in, and we're gonna pull it out tomorrow. It's writing every 10 minutes. It's writing the conductivity, the temperature, and the time onto a little memory chip, a little SD card. And we're going to pull it out and see, A, did it stay dry? Did it work? And B, did it take readings? And can we see the temperature and conductivity change even over 24 hours?
You know, I can get on AccuWeather, right? And it can tell me what the smog is like in a network of sensors around the country. And so there are a lot of air quality sensors, and these are networked together and are used every day by non-scientists. Whereas water sensor technology there's good technology for measuring things in the water, but the way we network that information together and then spread that or communicate that to people that they can use it then is pretty limited. We don't really do that. And it's surprising.
Journalists aren't scientists necessarily. You know, We take what they say and try to distill it down, which is oftentimes really, really difficult work. It was difficult work during the chemical spill in Charleston. It's a challenge with this project with the riffles and the sensors, the Streamlab project. But I think that basic data can be something that we can discuss. Well, we can look at this data and say, there's something here that we want to look into more. The specifics of it will lead us to something else, or lead us to ask other questions of scientists, or try to take our own data collection farther.
What we're doing is making something that could be an early warning system, right? So the EPA and local governments can't monitor every stretch of every body of water the whole time, right? But a whole bunch of citizens with pretty cheap sensors and Gatorade bottles could, right? At this point, it's really just about detecting, is something different? Is something weird? Is the water unusually warm? Is it unusually conductive? And then it would be time to come in with test tubes and vials of water and go test it, find out, get the experts in and find out.